Do you ever feel like it's almost impossible for you to become rich? Like no matter how hard you try, you're always falling behind in the wealth creation journey? Well, you're not alone. 59% of Americans believe they'll never be wealthy. And while this might be true for some people, for the majority it isn't. You see, wealth creation is a journey that takes time. And in the beginning, it might not feel like you're making progress, but there are subtle signs that show you're secretly becoming wealthy without even realizing it. And one of those signs is you no longer feel the need to upgrade your lifestyle just to impress others. One of the biggest reasons people stay broke is upgrading their lifestyle just to get some validation from others. Many people, when they get a pay raise or an extra income, they rush to spend it on things like upgrading their car or buying luxury clothes. Not because they need them, but because they want to impress others. And before they know it, they're not just spending their income, they're slipping into debt. Take this Reddit post for example. A user shared a story about a coworker struggling to buy a house with her boyfriend because they ran out of money every month. Despite the boyfriend earning £8,000 a month after tax, they faced financial difficulties. Now this post highlights how high income doesn't always equate to financial stability, especially when you're trying to maintain a certain lifestyle. And it's not just a few people making this mistake. According to a survey by LendingTree, nearly 40% of Americans admit to overspending just to impress others. Now people who splurge are not fools or reckless spenders. They do it because they know the fact that society treats you differently based on what you wear, what car you drive, and how luxurious your house looks. It's the harsh reality of today's world, and that's why some people overspend just to avoid feeling judged, outcasted, or rejected. Others do it because they grew up with financial struggles and now feel the need to prove something to themselves or to others. But if you've conquered that mindset, if you're not constantly chasing the latest trends, upgrading your lifestyle for validation, or feeling bad about having an older phone or a smaller car, in a society that validates you based on how much wealth you show, you're already ahead of the game. You are on the path to financial independence, and in the long run, you're far more likely to build real wealth. Now the next sign that indicates you are going to be wealthy is you no longer live paycheck to paycheck. If you don't have to wait for your next paycheck to pay your bills, it means one or two things. Either you're managing your expenses wisely despite a modest salary, or you have a steady stream of income coming in that exceeds your expenses. Either way, you're already ahead of the majority, because 67% of Americans still live paycheck to paycheck, and what's even crazier is 20% of people earning over $150,000 annually are in the same boat. Now most people assume that a higher income automatically means financial security, but that's far from the truth. Take Michael Jackson for example. He was the biggest entertainer the world had ever seen. So famous that his concerts generated hundreds of millions of dollars. His history tour, for example, generated over $300 million in revenue, making it the highest grossing solo world tour at the time. In 1991, Forbes estimated Michael Jackson's net worth at $230 million, equivalent to $531 million in 2025, making him the richest musician and the second richest entertainer. Now anyone would assume that he must be very wealthy, but that's not true. Michael Jackson was actually over $500 million in debt at the time of his demise. And this is not just one example. There are countless cases of people making millions and losing it all. This is Michael Carroll, a garbage collector from England who won £9.7 million in National Lottery in November 2002. Despite initial intentions to spend wisely, he quickly squandered his fortune on extravagant purchases, including new homes, drugs, parties, and cars. His reckless spending and involvement in criminal activities led to multiple legal issues, including a 9-month jail sentence for affray in 2006. By 2010, Carroll had lost his entire fortune and returned to his old job as a garbage collector. Now looking at these examples, it becomes pretty obvious that it's not about how much you earn, but how much you can keep. If you're able to save money even on a modest salary, that's a strong sign you are on your way to building real wealth. Because saving money when you don't have enough is incredibly tough. It's not just about cutting back on wants, sometimes it means sacrificing things you actually need, and that takes serious mental strength. So if you're doing that, just keep going and you'll hit your financial goals way before you even realize. Now the next sign that indicate you're secretly becoming wealthy is you can handle emergencies without panicking. You see, life is unpredictable. Job losses, medical emergencies, and unexpected expenses can happen to anyone. The real difference is how you handle them. Most people panic, stress out, and feel trapped because they don't have a financial cushion. But when you have an emergency fund, you don't stress or feel anxious when unexpected expenses arise. And this is one of the most prominent signs that you are on the right path to wealth. In fact, having a dedicated fund for emergencies is a crucial step towards financial independence because it prevents you from going into debt, provides financial security, and gives you more control over your decisions. Think about it. When you have 3 to 6 months of savings, you don't have to stay in a job you hate or let your employer exploit you just because you need the paycheck. So having an emergency fund doesn't just help you handle financial crisis, it also gives you the freedom to take risks, which can lead to better economic opportunities and ultimately greater wealth. The next sign that shows you are gonna be rich is you prioritize long-term investments over quick cash. Between 70 to 90% of day traders lose money in the stock market. 80% of all day traders quit within first 2 years, and an average day trader underperforms the index by 6.5% annually. I'm giving you all these statistics because day traders put their money in the market for a very short time, ranging from a few hours to a day, looking for quick cash. But the data shows it's not a very good strategy. On the other hand, investors who stay invested for longer periods are far more likely to make a profit from the market. So if you're someone who believes in slow but steady progress, who doesn't want to rush to wealth, and who puts their money into assets with long-term growth potential, then this is a sign you are on the right path. One of the biggest indicators of future wealth is delayed gratification, being able to invest for the long haul instead of chasing quick money. A great example for this is Ronald Read. Reed spent most of his life working as a janitor, earning nothing more than a minimum wage. But he saved every penny he could by living a low-key lifestyle and invested his savings in blue-chip stocks. He let compound interest work its magic and built an $8 million fortune. His story proves that if you have a long-term mindset, you are gonna win in this financial race regardless of how much you earn. The next sign that indicates you're gonna be wealthy is you have multiple streams of income. It's often said that millionaires generally have 7 streams of income. Obviously, you don't have to have that many right away, but having even 2 or 3 sources, especially one that's passive, means you're ahead of most people. Most people rely on a single income source, usually a 9-to-5 job, but if you start saving, investing, and building assets, you'll eventually create income streams that make money for you. Having multiple income sources is a key sign of future wealth, as it provides financial security, scalability, and long-term growth. It reduces financial risk by ensuring income continues even if one source fails. Also, earning from multiple streams can be reinvested, accelerating wealth accumulation. So if you already have multiple streams of income or are actively building them, you are on the right track to becoming rich. Now the next sign is that you understand the value of time. Now I'm not talking about those moments when you microwave food for 60 seconds and plan your entire life in that 1 minute, only to get impatient in the last 10 seconds. I mean, you understand the limited nature of time and utilize it to make your life better. I'll tell you what most people do. They go to work, come home, binge watch Netflix or scroll endlessly on their social media, wondering what to eat for dinner. And that's totally fine if you're happy with your life. But if you want to build wealth, how to use your free time matters. Studies show that millionaires spend their free time on active leisure like exercising, reading, and networking, while the average person spends most of their time on passive leisures like watching TV and relaxing. So if you're starting to feel like you're wasting time and it bothers you, that's a sign you're heading towards wealth, because successful people don't just let time pass, they use it intentionally to get ahead. Now the next sign that indicates you're gonna be wealthy is when your money is working for you. We've all seen wealthy people who seem to do way less work than the average person, yet their money keeps growing. That's because they have passive income from investments, rental properties, or other assets that make money while they sleep. When your money is working for you, it means you're no longer trading time for income. Instead, your investments and assets are generating wealth on their own, allowing wealth to accumulate effortlessly. By reinvesting earnings, you can leverage compound interest to multiply your wealth over time. This creates financial freedom, enabling you to earn without relying on a job, scale your income, and take advantage of bigger opportunities. And you don't need $1 million to start. Even a small passive income stream, like investing in a dividend stock, can help you start earning some passive income, because investing is one of the biggest indicators that you are on the path to wealth. Now, the next sign that shows you are gonna be rich is if you clicked on this video to find out why you should not learn finance from financial gurus.